Aryna Sabalenka walks into Wimbledon as the undisputed world #1. On paper, nobody else in the draw comes close. But paper doesn't win tennis matches, and right now, the body of work behind that ranking is starting to crack. It started at Roland Garros. Sabalenka, the player everyone expected to finally break through in Paris, ran into 28th seed Diana Schneider in the quarterfinals. And what happened next wasn't just a loss, it was a collapse. Sabalenka lost 10 straight games to close out that match. 10 in a row. For a player built on power and dominance, that kind of freefall doesn't just cost a match, it raises questions. Then came Berlin, 2 weeks after Paris, with a chance to rebuild some momentum heading into the grass season. Sabalenka ran straight into Jessica Pegula and lost again. By her own admission afterward, she didn't know how to respond to what Pegula was doing to her on court. 2 losses, 2 different opponents, 2 different surfaces, but the same uncomfortable pattern. The player who's supposed to be the most dominant woman in tennis right now looks lost out there. So naturally, the tennis world started talking. And one of the loudest voices to weigh in wasn't a current player or a coach. It was Jimmy Connors, 5-time US Open champion, former world #1, a man who's seen every kind of crisis of confidence tennis has to offer. Speaking on his podcast, Advantage Connors, Jimmy didn't hold back. He pointed out the obvious contradiction. Sabalenka walks into Wimbledon as the favorite again, just like always. But Connors said the conversations he's been having about her recently haven't been about her game. They've been about her attitude. That's the real concern. Not her serve, not her forehand, not her movement on grass. Her head. Connors asked the question everyone in tennis is quietly asking too. Can she shake off everything that's happened the last few weeks? Can she find that swagger again, that fearless energy she's known for, and bring it onto a surface at a tournament she's never actually won? Because here's the thing Connors made sure to highlight. Everybody already knows Sabalenka has the talent. Nobody's debating that. But the players coming up behind her, the next 4 or 5 names in that draw, they've all just watched her get beaten twice in a row. And in professional sports, perception spreads fast. The moment elite competitors smell vulnerability, they start believing they can be the one to capitalize on it. Connors' point was simple but loaded. Sometimes all it takes is one player walking out onto the court fully believing they can win, and good things start happening for them. The question is whether that player is going to be Sabalenka or whether it's going to be someone else entirely. In response to all of this, Sabalenka made a decision that tells you she knows exactly how serious the situation is. She pulled out of every remaining grass court tournament before Wimbledon. No Eastbourne, no Bad Homburg. She's not even going to test her game on grass again until she steps onto center court. The official explanation is that her ranking won't take a hit either way, since she didn't play those events last year. But make no mistake, this is about more than ranking points. This is about retreating, regrouping, and trying to find whatever it is she's lost before the biggest stage of the summer arrives. And if you want to understand why this moment feels so loaded for Sabalenka, you have to go back to last year's Wimbledon. Because this isn't the first time she stood at the edge of a breakthrough on this surface and watched it slip away. Last year, Sabalenka made it all the way to the semifinals. The path looked manageable. Her opponent, Amanda Anisimova, had only reached 1 Grand Slam semifinal before in her career. Most people had Sabalenka pegged to cruise into the final. Instead, Anisimova produced one of the upsets of the tournament, grinding out a 3-set win that took 2 hours and 37 minutes to complete. Sabalenka was beaten 6-4, 4-6, 6-4. Another brutal exit at a Grand Slam in a year that had already included painful final losses at the Australian Open and the French Open. After that Wimbledon defeat, Sabalenka opened up about what was really going on inside her head. She admitted that losing so many finals and so many tight matches at the majors had been difficult, but she also said something that revealed a lot about how she processes setbacks. She talked about using those defeats as fuel, saying the pain from losses like that pushes her to come back even hungrier the next time around. It's a mindset that's defined her entire career. Crisis, reflection, then resurgence. She admitted the core issue wasn't her game. It never really is with her. It was trust. Trusting her shots. Trusting her decisions in the biggest moments. She said that every single time she reminded herself to be brave, to commit fully instead of holding back, her best tennis would show up almost instantly. The problem wasn't ability. It was belief, and history backs that pattern up perfectly. After everything that happened across that brutal 2024 season, after 3 crushing losses on the biggest stages in the sport, Sabalenka didn't fall apart. She went to the US Open and beat the very same player who had eliminated her at Wimbledon, defeating Amanda Anisimova in the final to capture the title. So now here we are again. Another rocky stretch, another wave of doubt, another tournament where the questions are louder than the confidence. Jimmy Connors put it bluntly, the talent has never been the issue with Sabalenka. The issue is whether she can silence the noise, trust herself completely, and go take what's hers on a surface that's denied her before. The pattern says she can. The pattern says adversity has always been the thing that wakes her up. But patterns don't guarantee anything, and this Wimbledon field already smells blood. The next 2 weeks will tell us everything about who Aryna Sabalenka really is right now. Is she still the most dominant force in women's tennis? Or is the throne finally up for grabs?